Welcome everybody and to the Longmont Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Can we have a roll call, please? I will start. We're not chairs here, are we?
Commissioner, you are.
Yeah,
Chair.
I had a week off.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm a lame duck. I don't have to work. Chair Peck.
Commissioner Yarborough.
Commissioner Hidalgo Ferring.
Commissioner Christ.
Erica Morris, Executive Assistant.
Sarah Hardy, Public Safety.
Kendra Daniels, Accounting Supervisor.
Harold Dominguez, Interim Executive Director.
Molly O'Donnell, Housing Director.
Aquila Piggies, Housing Voucher Specialist.
Tim Hall, Senior Assistant City Attorney.
Quincy Williams, Regional Property Manager. Sean McCoy, Commissioner.
Was that Erin? I heard there was
It is Aaron.
Is it? Perfect, we're just having roll call.
Oh, great.
Say your name, please, for the recording.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Thank you. Okay, the first thing that we have on the agenda are revisions and submissions of documents. Are there any?
None.
None, okay. Can I have a motion to approve the August 19th, 2025 minutes?
Second.
October. Yes.
Second. How many have yeah, so moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner McCoy, seconded by Commissioner Christ.
One clarification, Board
Yes.
Chair. October 21st, 2025. Is that correct for you?
Yes.
Okay. August 19th was reported, just want to make sure for the record.
Right, that's about that hard.
Oh, so this is misprint. Thank you.
Is it?
No, that you were reading
Yeah,
this
this is-
opposed to the agenda that's.
Nice catch. Well, we corrected it.
We have two
We're good.
agendas. Okay, why do we have this one?
Because it's the
on
minutes.
here? Okay, got it. I was reading the minutes. Thank you. Did you get that correction recorded? Let's do this again. Can I have a motion to approve the October 21st, 2025 minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner McCoy, seconded by Commissioner Christ. Is there anyone from the public? We have public invited to be heard.
Should probably take that vote.
Yes, all those in favor, say
Aye.
aye. All those opposed? And that passes unanimously. I don't see any public in here, so I'll close public invited to be heard, and we're on old and new business. The first thing is resolution 2025-15, adopting the tenant selection plan for the suites, supportive housing, and modifying the Housing Choice Voucher Program administrative plan.
So, Board Commissioners, I would like to introduce Aquila. She is our Housing Choice Voucher Specialist, one of our two, and she's going to be presenting on this item tonight.
Good evening, everyone. So yes, my name's Aquila. I've been here at LHA, just hit my 2-year mark this past weekend, so it's been a fun time. As the Housing Voucher Specialist, I'm the caseworker for our tenants on the HCV, PBV, LRA, and SRO programs. So I process their paperwork for their annual recertifications, as well as any household or income changes they might have throughout the year. I'm also responsible for monitoring vacancies at some of our properties, managing the wait list, and then also processing the new admissions. One of the wait lists that myself and my coworker Shelby fill and manage vacancies for are the project-based voucher units at the suites. The suites, of course, being our permanent supportive housing property. There are 82 units there. They all have project-based vouchers. Clinica, Family Health and Wellness administers 40 of those vouchers, and then LHA administers the other 41. So typically when there's a vacancy at one of the LHA units, Shelby and I will work through a wait list of applicants to fill that unit. And typically the applicants on that wait list are people who have either come to the Housing Authority window and applied, or they've worked with a representative at like one of our local shelters to apply. during one of the waitlist opening periods. The last time we held a waitlist opening for the suites was back in 2023. And that waitlist does provide a preference for applicants that are experiencing homelessness. So because we have that preference, the makeup of the applicants on the list are obviously homeless and transient individuals. And that does pose some challenges for us when we're trying to fill a unit. We're often finding that people don't have contact information to provide on their application. They don't have a permanent address, a phone number, or an email. And then in the case when they do have contact information to provide, by the time we make it to them on the wait list, it's no longer current. So, they've moved, the phone's disconnected, the number's changed, or they don't have consistent access to their email. So they're really hard to get in touch with. And then on top of that, for each applicant that we select off the wait list, we have to give them 14 days to complete the packet and get all of their application materials back to us. So that effectively puts us in like a 2-week freeze where we don't know if we're going to get a response at all, and we cannot move on to the next set of applicants. Recently, we've been trying to fill some units at the suites, and we had a 2.9% response rate. So, you might hear that and think, well, why don't you just open the wait list more often and refresh your applicant pool? And unfortunately, we cannot do that. So we have to work through the entire wait list. We have to exhaust it before we can reopen a wait list. Over at the suites, we don't have a really high turnover rate for those tenants, which is great, and really speaks to the dedication of our staff to keep our tenants housed. However, that means we cannot work through a wait list quickly enough to even open a wait list once every year. So really, it's just our current waitlist management strategy is not serving us well. It's really hindering our effectiveness or efficiency to fill units, and that obviously has effects up the chain dealing with revenue as well. So to address these challenges, we are proposing amendments to the 2025 Voucher Administrative Plan, as well as the tenant selection plan for the suites. Those amendments would revise our current policies governing how we manage the suites waitlist to allow referrals through the Boulder County local case conferencing system, which uses a coordinated entry process to connect homeless households to available housing resources. Some agencies already involved in the coordinated entry program would be like Hope for Longmont, as well as All Roads Shelter in Boulder. So instead of slowly working my way down a wait list, when I have a unit that's becoming vacant, I would reach out to that partnering agency, let them know, hey, I'll have the unit towards the end of next month. And they will work with their agency to find an applicant to apply for the project-based voucher program. Let's see. We're confident that adopting these changes will increase our efficiency of getting new applicants and reduce our vacancy rates. For one, we know that when we get that referral from the partnering agency, that's putting us directly in contact with someone who's ready to go ahead and exit homelessness now. So we have that motivation. Additionally, the applicant has the support of the staff member or caseworker at that partnering agency to get in contact and stay in contact with us. And then they also work with them through the admissions process. So I would once they send a match to me, I'll send them the application materials to the representative and the applicant. They'll help them fill it out, get identity documents. Sometimes people need to get new social security cards, get pay stubs if they're working, bank account statements, all of the materials that I would need to process their application and get that back to me. And then we're also looking at, having that kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel when you're speaking to an applicant and say, if you follow through this process, it's not like you're just applying to a wait list and you're going to have to wait for some undetermined amount of time. If you follow through with this process, we do have a unit available for you. And so, hoping that that will encourage people to follow through and complete the admissions process. We're also really just confident that these changes will be successful for us because we've seen demonstrated success using the coordinated entry referral process. That's how what we use with our locally funded vouchers. So I'm processing all of the new admissions for the LRA program, and it worked just like I just described. When I have a voucher available, let the partnering agency know. And normally I get a match and I hear back from them within 2 days. So I send them those materials, they work with the applicant, and like I said, normally I have to give them the 14 days, but I usually get all of my application materials back in 7 to 10 days. So we're already fast tracking that admissions process. It's been great. And then just beyond those improvements, the larger benefit of this change will be strengthening our relationship with the partnering agencies and then other community resources. With the increased communication and the sharing of knowledge, hope to create a stronger response for addressing the needs and prioritizing those most vulnerable within our community. Any questions?
Sounds like a lot of work you've done. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
So I guess I just need a little bit of clarification, and I'm pretty sure you already said it. When you work, so what are you changing in the policies as far as the waiting list for those who are currently on the waiting list compared to you contacting the other agencies?
So currently first of all, we have exhausted our wait list. So like I said, we've been trying to fill vacancies. We sent out interest letters in the last month to 134 people on the wait list, and we got 4 responses. So it's not been great. So what we'd be changing, instead of them coming to us and filling out the application and we hold on to it, when I have the vacancy, I will just reach out to the partnering agency to supply me an applicant.
So once you exhausted all the people on the waiting list, then from now on, that's what you would do?
That's what we do.
Okay, that's what I was just making sure that the people who are still on the list are not being left behind.
Right,
That's
so,
all.
yes. With us sending out those letters and we got the 4 responses, we've contacted everyone on the wait
Makes
list,
sense.
so we're starting fresh.
That was why we're timing it right now too as well, because we wanted to make sure we exhausted that wait list and didn't open a new wait list and could transition this right now to make sure that we gave everybody their opportunity.
You mentioned that in the 14-day wait period that you had, that you lost track of some of the people, the phone numbers no longer. Will the partnering agency keep in touch with them along the way so that we don't lose that person as far as?
Right. Yes, so I have not had an experience of them losing contact with someone while we're working through that process on the LRA side or the local voucher side. So I'm confident that they are, keeping in touch with them through the coordinated entry process for individuals that are higher need. They're typically residing at the shelter already, so they have close contact with those people.
Okay. Good. Any other questions?
I'll just add that all of our partners that touch the suites, so DOH, Clinica from the Mental Health Partners, Boulder County through the coordinated entry, everybody's very excited for this. Because of the people in coordinated entry waiting for a place, and B, because it's going to administratively streamline most things.
How many vacant units we have over there?
For project-based vouchers, we have 4 units. 4 we're filling right now.
And they have 4 people ready to go.
Awesome.
So you need a motion, right?
To adopt.
I move we adopt.
Second.
So we're adopting LHA 2025-15, just for the recording. So it's been moved by Commissioner McCoy, seconded by Commissioner Yarbrough. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And that passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your detailed presentation.
Thank you.
Very good.
If I can, so Aquila wanted to develop more in terms of what she was doing, and she said, I want to do that, so we're like, well, let's go, and Lauren said, let's present, so this is her first presentation.
You did great.
She did phenomenal, I
Yes.
wanted to say that, she did really
Thank you
great.
so much.
You might be asked back.
She just got more work.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good job, though.
We're now at the LHA participation in the city's employer-based child care program.
We can take this one? So, as you all know, as city council members, you funded ongoing funding for childcare for city employees. One of the things that we realized actually in coming through this approval process is we forgot to have that conversation related to the housing authority. And so we're coming to you today because we have had one request from the housing authority. We're not sure if there's going to be any more. And looking to get direction from the board to allow us to go into fund balance so we can fund the housing authority's portion of the early child care program. And, I think probably we put around $175,000 in from the city. I think probably not to exceed $30,000 out of fund balance to assist with the reduced cost child care program that we created for the city. So it would be operated in the same way, same fashion. We just needed to get funding from the housing authority to do that.
So this is specifically for a SIT.
No, this is actually for the TLC program. So,
okay.
Council gave one-time funding, and then we have the ongoing funding for the slots. And we just missed it in terms of the housing authority piece. So we're asking for authority to use fund balance not to exceed $30,000. We'll obviously manage it. It will mimic the city's program, and we'll pay the same percentages. We just don't know how many people we could potentially get from the housing authority.
Okay.
And for your knowledge, we've had such strong interest from the city that they are actually working with the enterprise funds to see, so think of water, electric, wastewater, to see if there's funding available within their fund structures to augment it so we can assist as many city employees as we can. This is a separate ask under your role as commissioners.
That's great. Is there any discussion? Questions? I move that we, it's not adopting, but allow participation.
Participation and not to exceed $30,000 out of fund balance. And then we'll bring the appropriate allocations back.
Okay. So that was a motion. Can I get a second? It's been, I made the motion, Chair Peck, and it was seconded by Commissioner Yarbrough. Let me just restate it for the recording: to allow LHA participation in the city's employer-based child care program not to exceed $30,000 from fund balance. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes. Great. I think that's a great idea. The more we can help with child care, the better. And it's also good employee retention, because it's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting wearing a different hat on the RTD accountability committees. We were talking about RTD operations. This conversation came up there.
Really?
In terms of things that folks are needing and what it takes to compete for employees.
For RTD's employees? Take some of that reserve money, they could do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's many things. I can brief you on that later.
Yeah. Okay, we're at the interim executive director's report. Harold?
You all want to take it?
I will take the development updates.
Quincy will take
Yes, operations. Okay, so we have been looking at opportunities on the horizon for our next new project or projects. We have a couple of opportunities that we are weighing and doing some financial analysis and timing analysis to see what resources could bring a good opportunity forward, with the priority being, this is similar to what we were talked about when we were going over the projections when we did the budget last month, is trying to get a mixed income project of sorts, but also the timing may come about well to do another LIHTC project that's potentially more of a streamlined LIHTC project. There's a couple of developments out there that have made it pretty well through the site planning process and entitlements, but then because of the markets, froze. And so we've got some affordable housing developers out there looking for the opportunity to pick some of those up, since they're already, partway through the process. And so we're seeing if that could maybe be a quick project. And then while we work on our big idea project, similar to Ascent, where we wanted to kind of flex on some meeting multiple community priorities. So we're seeing what pans out with some of those opportunities. The reason the LIHTC timing makes sense is because we were awarded Ascent, being a co-general partner on Ascent in 2023, we needed to wait 2 years to come back for application of tax credits as a GP again. So that 2-year period is up, and so it might have a good window to start sliding in an application there. At the same time, the Atwood Commons project, which is proposed by Brickwell, of which LHA is proposed to be a special limited partner and property manager, after 3 submittals, 3 application rounds over 3 years, they got awarded their tax credits here about a week ago. So we will have, Atwood Commons will be moving forward. They anticipate closing and starting construction in mid-2026, because they're almost ready to sign, seal, and deliver on their entitlements. And so, because they got that award, it's now a good time to start planning for LHA. So that's in the ideal world. If we could have 2 things going at the same time, that would be great. And we'll see how these opportunities pan out. But we do have a new affordable housing development coming into Longmont.
What is that one?
So it's Atwood Commons.
Oh.
It's at
the one right
3rd
next
and
to-
Atwood.
3rd and Atwood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how.
Yeah.
And
There'll be 72 units, primarily, I can't recall if they're studios, but 1 and 2 bedrooms.
So is this going to be affordable on
Yes.
the, okay.
It'll be an income averaging project similar to Ascent, so serving between 30% and 80% AMI families. They're partnering with the R Center, since they're located just about across the street, to provide services to residents on site. They were awarded, you and your role as council awarded them an affordable housing fund loan a good 2 years ago now, and we've been carrying that forward, waiting for them to be successful, and they have been successful now, so we'll be moving that forward.
For single people only?
It's multifamily, but it's
But you
not.
said it was.
2 bedrooms?
Oh, 2 bedrooms?
Yes,
One
one
to
and
two.
2
One to
bedrooms.
2 in studio.
Mhm.
Oh, great.
What's the management fee on that? per year?
We haven't negotiated it yet, so that'll be what we'll be doing the next 6 months.
So even though we're not in the ownership structure, we'll be managing it, so we'll obviously get the positions to manage it, but then part of that is you get a management fee coming in to provide for general oversight of that. So when we talk about the numbers and the gaps that we were talking about with ongoing funding versus one-time funding, the management fee actually will slide in and add additional ongoing funding as we're looking at creating more of that so we can stop living off the fund balance.
Great. And you said 2027?
I think that it's about an 18-month construction timeframe, so maybe beginning of 28 is when they'd be open and leasing.
Okay. Do you need, is this just
Just updates.
for discussion? Not, okay, we don't need, all right. Quincy, I think you're up.
Hi, everybody.
Operational updates.
So I'll start off with Aspen Meadows neighborhood. We're still 100% over there, which is great. Aspen Meadows Senior, we are still working through our waiting list. We've actually exhausted the waiting list there. We're now branching off to other properties to see if we can steal some people from their waiting list to go into Aspen's. The main issue is there's still the rents, with it being 50%, right, Kendra? 50% units? 50%?
At AMN?
At AMN, no, Aspen Meadows Senior.
Yes, they're all 50.
50%, so that's 1412 fixed income, around 2,800 a month, which is kind of difficult for us still, but we're still working through. We did reduce from 7, so now we have 6 vacants there, and summer will be coming in next weekend actually to sign a lease with somebody, so we'll have 5 vacants there. Fall River, we are 100% leased. There will be 3 people moving in within the next 60 days. We've given residents over there, or applicants over there, time to put their 30-day notice in, so we can have that smooth transition. On Spring Creek, they're still working through their waiting list over there as well. Hearthstone and the Lodge, Jonna has about a 250-person waiting list between the 2 properties, so she's pulling people and interviewing and getting them to come in to do their paperwork. So I have no doubt in my mind that those 3 units that are vacant between the 2 properties will be filled very soon. The suites, Aquila gave her spiel. We're gonna open that list up so we can get some walk-ins and maybe get those filled. Very confident in those. Village on Main Street, we have 4 vacant units over there. Those are not ever hard to rent with the location, so we're not too worried about those. And then Briarwood, we're 100% full over at Briarwood. We have added a Commissioner Yarborough, you asked for the move-out reasons why residents were moving out, and we added that information there too. So for the year total, we have about 14 people that have passed away throughout the portfolio, 15 people who have relocated. Relocation, moving in with family, and moving out of state is kind of all bundled in the same thing because they're leaving for a specific reason, right? So that's about closer to 25 people who have moved in with family, reasons being they're either not able to take care of themselves or the rent is too high. That's another reason on there as well, which could kind of be channeled into those other 3 reasons as far as them moving out. We're still monitoring that. Like I said, the units that we have, the ones that we struggle with are just Aspen Meadows. Everything else kind of comes because of location and just not saying Aspen is not as good as the other properties, right? But a lot of people do find themselves not wanting to live there. It's not as convenient as the other properties. And we jump to the property updates. We don't have any updates right now at any of the properties except for the remediation over at the Hearthstone with the fire that happened. That is completed, so they are now, drywall is up, they've got the permit, so now they're working on getting appliances installed and flooring. Those should be finished before the end of the year this year. And then the elevator over at the suites, we're gonna get PEI, which is professional elevator inspectors, to come out and inspect the elevator, and that one should be up before the end of this month. And those are the property updates that we have. We gave an offer out to a property manager. It ended up falling through the cracks, and they were supposed to start today. It didn't happen, so we sent another offer out to another property manager. I won't reveal that name until that's finalized, but she should be starting on the 24th of this month. And we also have a new maintenance technician, James Tubman, who started with us about a week or 2 ago, and he's been great.
I know, sorry.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so,
What?
I know him, so.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So will he be great?
He's a nice guy.
Oh, okay,
He's done some work for me.
okay. That's good to know. But he's been great so far. I mean, he's very attentive and he listens. He does what he's supposed to. So it's been a good deal. Any questions?
Just make sure you add PSI.
Oh, the PEI.
PEI on that list that you
Yes,
compiling.
yes. The
Acronym.
acronym list. Yes.
Well, I saw some of the acronyms over here just for the
Yeah, I wrote it out
Yeah,
for you
I-
specifically.
Yeah.
Well,
Right here, yeah.
That one I did not know, but I know new council, well, you
Absolutely,
know,
for sure.
it'll
It's
be,
difficult.
yeah, it's challenging.
So I had a question. You said Aspen Meadows was difficult because of what makes it so difficult?
Well, it's hard to find. So we asked for 2 times the rent when somebody moves.
Oh,
in.
okay.
So it's hard to find somebody to make 14,
Oh,
12. 'cause we
okay,
have,
gotcha.
Yeah, we have 6 50% units there.
Because I was taking it the other way about maybe how close proximity to different things like Safeway and stuff like that. I thought it was generally pretty.
Well, yeah. Compared, I
This
mean,
is different. You're saying it's just 2 times the rent type.
for sure. But you know, if you compare that to like Village on Main Street, Village on Main, there's a bus stop literally right outside the property.
Right.
So it's certain things that VOM accommodates that Aspen doesn't. And then on top of that, with the rent being 14, 12, and you technically having to have to make $2,800 a month, it's fairly difficult to find seniors on a fixed income that make that much.
Gotcha.
Social Security is typically, I mean, you'll see $900 a month. If you see somebody over $2,000, I don't know what they did in their life to get that, but that's like really good. So those are the roadblocks that we're facing right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think one of the things I wanted to say is the work that Quincy and his team's been doing. You know, we've been struggling to understand what's adjusting the vacancy rates, and they're really streamlining the process. And so I think this is the first time we've seen this many at 100%, Kendra, in a long time. 100% occupancy. So that is a good thing. But what it's also letting us start to do is really understand why certain properties are vacant and why others aren't. So his point on the bus stop is right outside of Village on Main, Aspen Meadows, you have to walk a block to the west, and it's on the intersection of 21st and Collier. So, and then that's a busy intersection anyway, so navigating it is a challenge. And I think we talked to you all about, it also doesn't have the same amenities that the other properties have, like dishwashers and an exercise facility and other things. And so those are things we're trying to figure out. At the same time, we've talked to Kendra and really looking at how we can move through the process and have guarantors for individuals. And so I think it's not uncommon for us to hear of family members that are willing to help, but the system that we have that's been in place for, I think, since before we took it over, doesn't allow for guarantors. And so trying to bring that into place for example, if my mom wanted to live there, not that she could because of what I'm doing, but if she wanted to live there and she wasn't making enough, then I could sign on for her guarantor, similar to what the 2 of us do for our kids. Kendra and I were talking about that. We both do that for our kids, and so she's starting to explore that in Yardy to try to see if we can facilitate filling some slots.
And then going a little bit deeper about what Harold just said about the guarantors, typically in low-income property management, whoever that guarantor is, that income is included. So, you know, you make what you make, and then if you add Harold on, you have to add his income as well. And typically, in the world, just the regular world of low income, when you add somebody else, more than likely you're going to be over income. So then you don't qualify.
So we're trying to figure out how we can manage that with the 2 times the income.
At one point, didn't we talk about, like, maybe it was a different property, but putting in some dishwashers, some amenities?
It was this one, and so
Okay.
they're exploring right now countertop dishwashers and what that looks like. I think we're still waiting on some costs. The other thing was the exercise. And it, again, was this one. They've evaluated the 3rd floor common area. I think there is one person adjacent to it that is concerned about the noise. And so they're trying to see if there's a vacancy, is that person willing to move there to then, so we're moving through, so all of those things are things that they're working on.
So can you have some type of amenity for that one that Village on Main doesn't have? Maybe a meditation room or something, you know what I'm saying? Because for $2,800 a month,
Yeah. That's a lot
I'm
of
just
money.
saying,
Mhm.
I mean, I need some free crackers when I walk in here. Hello, ma'am, how you doing? You know, mocktail, something. Seriously.
So yeah, so those are
Bar.
things we're on.
What Aspens does have, they have a business center, they have a game room area, and then the third floor currently is actually quite large, it's a library. And so that's what we're talking about, is carving off a portion of this library. In terms of outside space, we did, in the rehab that we did in 2020, 2021, we did create a new outside area in the back. But we did the best with the space that we had. It's not huge. I think, but Village is just almost hard to even compare to because it's right downtown. And then inside, there was so much common space to do a lot with.
Yeah.
So if you have a choice of the two. But, and also Aspen still has, because that rehab was a pretty modest rehab, it has the original cabinets. We did upgrades to the countertops and put on some nice hardware and things like that, but it's just an older property compared to Village on Main, which was able to accommodate a really extensive rehab.
Well, I think part of the rehab, if you remember, that was a rehab that we inherited that was already designed. And so I think what we've learned through this process and what we learned in Village is you just need to dig in deeper. But that project was so far down the road, we couldn't adjust it. Because if you may remember, we almost lost, well, we did lose the equity investor.
Yeah.
And then we had to come back in, and that was in the transition. So they lost it before the transition. It transitioned into the form we're at now. We had to go get another equity investor, and we just had to take what was already designed. So it was just problematic from the beginning.
Does it have air conditioning?
Mhm.
And do you allow pets there?
Service
Service
animals.
animals?
Service animals.
That's the same across all properties.
But that's changing.
Yes.
It is changing?
For new properties, because the old properties with the equity investors, you still have the rules that are in place. And so, new properties it's changing, but going back to
January
old
1st.
properties, because of the federal rules and equity investors, it's a different.
And Aspen Meadows has equity investors?
Mhm.
So I have a question, and I know that you've covered this before, but you said Aspen Meadows was 2,800?
It's 1412. You have to make 2,800 to live there.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's just because the units are 50% AMI, that's why.
Okay.
That's the biggest challenge with this,
That's-
is 50% AMI designated units for seniors on fixed income is a big challenge. And what's really challenging is when you're crafting a deal and you're creating a pro forma, you have to include a mix of units, because just having all 30% units, you need a ton of subsidy to do that. So it's trying to create a healthy mix, but then there's always gonna be this challenge, especially in a market like this.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Quincy? Seeing none, let's move on to the third quarter financial reports.
So I'll do a high level, and then if you guys have any questions or, but right now, pretty much every property is over in vacancies, except for one, which is the suites. I know they have 4 vacancies right now, so there's also a fourth quarter budget, so hopefully by the end of the year, we won't actually be over for them as well, but for all the other properties, we are over on vacancy. As far as budget goes on expenditures, the ones that are over 75% are, there's one at AMSA, and that was for some flooring relocation. We did have to house some people while we were doing the flooring in their units. So that was unexpected. The Hearthstone had a fire that's costing over $400,000. But it's, so far, we've gotten every penny besides the deductible from the insurance company, so I don't expect any surprises there. The Hearthstone and the Lodge both had the HOA fees that increased about $400 per quarter, so that wasn't budgeted, so we're over there. And then VOM had some interest, but that was mainly because they were in the conversion from moving from out of construction and their permanent loan conversion. So we had to expense a bit of interest more than expected there. Briarwood had a boiler failure and repairs. But I mean, we're still within budget in whole. It's just certain line items that are over 75%. LHA, they have their housing assistant vouchers. We are over, I think it was 83% on those, but we know we're in shortfall. So that was also kind of expected at the beginning of the year that we would run over there. As far as the accounts receivable, there's two properties that have really high balances, which is A&M and the Suites. A&M has a couple tenants that aren't paying rent, and I imagine demands are out for those, as well as a $7,000 balance for a past tenant that will probably be coming to the board soon for write-off, but they're working through that collection process.
When you say past tenant, like no longer on earth tenant?
No,
or-
sorry. No. So in our system is current and past, so yeah, moved out. I mean, I guess it's right. No longer with us.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
But that's an interesting point, so,
Very.
because that does create vacancy issues. So, when we have somebody that passes away, if they don't have their affairs in order, or they have other family members that can sign off on things, we then have to go through the eviction process so that we can actually come in and take possession. And we've had a few of those cases as part of what's impacting her vacancy number from a revenue standpoint is we have people pass away, and then you have to go through the eviction process, which takes some time, which then compounds what she's doing, and then it gets even worse because you can't start turning the unit until you get approved through the eviction process. So then all of a sudden, what may look like this in a normal turnover is like this, and so that starts then creating the financial challenge on Kendra's side.
And if they have a voucher agencies can only pay 14 days if somebody has passed away. So they cut off the voucher, and then that full amount of rent is recognized as vacancy loss. So,
Well, if you get that guarantor idea figured out, then maybe you could have somebody to go to pick it up.
Because that's the problem, there's no next of kin typically at those properties, so it just makes it even longer for us to have to get them out. Yeah.
And that may be where actually, as we're looking at CareNet that we talked about in your role as council, where people are connecting and their service providers, that may be something where we actually bring CareNet in and start working with Quincy and his staff to work people through it ahead of time. Even if we need to work to get them ad items or something like that.
I think so, and especially the aging population, just like, oh my gosh, I can't think of it, but there is an advocacy group just for our aging population, and they have ad litem people for them, and maybe connecting them, having them as a partner.
Right.
Yeah.
so the Suites has one tenant that moved out as well. And
By choice?
and so they're at about $9,000, and then we have two that I know, at least one is moving through the eviction process. I imagine the other one is in the demand or eviction process as well. So those will probably be coming to council. And then for the vouchers, the voucher update is we are down to really kind of where we should have been, even lower at the beginning of the year. So if you look at that report, basically the budget was at $7 million, and if you looked at that at a monthly allocation, each month we would want to be spending about $587, and that's tapping out the entire budget, which obviously you don't want to do. We were at $614,000 as opposed to $587, and in November we're now down to $578. So we have worked getting, and some of it is just a lot of participations. I had a big chunk this last month, like 4 or 5 into participations. We've had people get pulled off due to fraud. They weren't paying their fraud money back, so we ended their participation. So we are looking good going into next year, and based on the 2-year tool, we don't look like we're in shortfall, and that's all within HUD's realm of what our renewed funding will be next year. So right now we're looking at about $143,000 in shortfall this year. But with the reduction to 578, that gives us a really good opportunity when we start to add the Ascent PBV vouchers. Because right now, I even have those vouchers outlined in the 2-year tool, and we're still not in shortfall. So, and we're getting paid. So that would be the other thing. So we are seeing funding from HUD.
Good.
And we did also see their letter for December. So they've allocated money for that. And they gave us a little extra that I didn't know about. We didn't get an email about it. So they're obviously working our shortfall. And I don't think we'll have a problem at least getting the funding for that shortfall this year.
Good.
And the number when we started out was the shortfall number?
We were probably up almost at 400,000, I thought.
Yeah, so it's close to 500,000. So another example of really strong teamwork between the HCV team and Kendra, and then working with HUD and following the HUD procedures to really reduce that shortfall amount. So they've done a great job, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, we went from 428 vouchers in January, and now we're at 397.
That's good.
It says 385 here. Okay.
Oh, well, you have to add the PBVs not leased
Oh,
and the
okay.
issued
There you go.
vouchers. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking. I didn't look at the bottom number. Yeah.
And what it means, I think what it means is hopefully once we get down to that baseline, it starts giving us, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel where hopefully after a certain amount of time, as people are turning vouchers, we're not just having to eat them to manage it, but maybe we can start re-vouchering. And so we'll see what happens there.
And you're not porting in anybody, right?
You can't.
Right, okay.
Right.
No, we are porting.
We're porting, what is it we can't
We
do?
can't port out to an agency that's higher than our fair market rent. So based on the shortfall standards,
Yeah.
that if they want to port out, but what they have to do is if they do want to port out, they have to be put on the top of the wait list. If they're wanting to port out to an agency that's higher, they have to move to the top of the wait list. That if we do have a voucher available, that they get to do that first.
And if they do port in, we can't absorb them, so we have to
That's
administer. So our original housing authority still has to pay.
Yeah. And we're working through multiple agencies that are not paying us. And it's, there's several. And to be honest, I can't believe how many websites don't have any contact information.
Wow.
So you go to the website and there's nothing. There's no contacts. So you have to do the contact us form, and hopefully it hits somebody. I've gotten some ones that came back today, and I called, got a new name, still haven't heard anything. So
Are those out of state or?
no, they're all in.
In state?
They're all in state. Yeah, most of them are. I have Grand Junction. I have Loveland. I have Inglewood.
So we need to take a field trip.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, in our car and let's
I
start.
mean,
I'm kind of blown away that
I may
there's
have
so far
someone,
away.
I may have someone in England, so.
Yeah.
Did you hear back
White
from Tulsa?
No.
Oh, they
Kendra can help.
haven't paid since June,
We're here to collect.
Right?
But
and
Yeah.
I've contacted them.
Do a sit-in.
I get nothing.
Well, and if HUD so we did have a county, Weld County wasn't paying, and we had to escalate it. So the next escalation is HUD. And then we actually got payment. So, but we don't have HUD to go to now, so we're just trying.
You might be here in a couple days.
Just
So-
give me your list and I'll.
Yeah, we've got the executive director's contacts too that we
Yeah.
can get to.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I should add one thing that relates to Atwood here, because some of the press release information from Chaffa on the tax credit award references the stuff that was included in their old application. At which point, when we awarded the project-based vouchers to Village on Main and to Ascent, we also awarded 8 to Atwood, but that is not, we are not allowed to voucher up with them if we're in shortfall. So I've already told them, don't count on it. We are officially not projected to be in shortfall for 2026, but don't count on it because we will not be allowed to sign an AHAP, Affordable Housing Assistance Payment Contract.
What was that?
Another acronym.
Right.
We can't even keep up with that.
So if you see that and we already got a question today from BHP, they're like, how would you do that? We're like, no, they know we can't commit to that at this time. We'll see how it comes into spring, but most likely if you still, let's look at your financing again, they might have to apply for a little bit of a higher Affordable Housing Fund award if they can't swing the difference, but we'll sort it. But just in case you see that and are confused why it says that.
Okay, that's good to know. Makes sense. So that's your updates?
That's all my updates. I'm passing the baton.
Yes, to Sarah. Public health and safety issues.
Well, I have short and sweet. Last month is really relatively quiet at our properties.
Nice.
Suites had 15 at the top and everyone else had 1 or 2. I guess my biggest update is we're getting ready to rip up the boxes to get the meth detectors out and get the batteries going and getting everything situated on the portal before we do the installs, which our goal is to install them first or second week of December. So we'll start that once we get some of the equipment we need, and that's about all. Cameras are working well. We have a few that are down at Briarwood, but we have all coming out to get those working and operating, and that's about it.
That's great. That's good. It's been a long time you've been working with that.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
And the work, I saw the fence that was knocked down, I could move it.
Yeah, okay.
It just seemed like you were always in this position. Like, I can't even imagine you not being where you are right now. You should have been there a long time ago.
So I was in a quasi way. I mean, through the Crime Free Housing program, but LHA. I mean, I've worked with them since 2010. Just not this intimately.
Right.
And then some things got, questionable, and so I stepped back a little bit.
Yeah, thank you though.
Yes, for sure.
It's a great team. So, any commissioner comments?
Oh, I wanted to talk to you all about, I have one thing I wanted to go over with you all.
Okay.
Pull it out.
Well, Kim was smiling like she knows what's coming.
Oh,
No,
I know.
She doesn't have it, so I'm just gonna lean over your shoulder. So we were just talking about this, so if you all, as we're ending sort of this group that's been working together on these issues, when we started this, and it overlaps a few councils, I think you all set a goal for us on building 5 or 6 new affordable housing areas or facilities. So we have added Crispin that we partnered on with, which that'll turn over to us in 2 years.
Between 27 and 29.
Between 27 and 29, depending where they're paying for it. But you added the new building there. Ascent on Hover is about to lease up in early January, so we're all,
And we've already started the lease up on that too, because we want to have a Christmas this year, so we're working through it now.
Zinnia was another one that we did. Atwood just got approved. What else did I miss, Molly? Christmas.
That was it for
Zinnia, Ascent, Atwood. Then we started looking at the area adjacent to Costco as this part of it, but you all shifted that to for sale affordable. So there's 5 that we have there. So you've added in this time period in excess of 593 total units.
That's including rehab.
That's including, what I didn't mention is we've also rehabbed 2 facilities, Aspen Meadows Apartments and Village on Main. So
That's
it's
new units.
286 new rental units, 185 home ownership units, so that's 471, and then 122 rehabs. So over that time period, we've touched about 593 units.
Oh my gosh,
So
good job.
that's from the goals that you all set. We didn't quite meet it. We missed it by, I think, 1. I don't know that we could have. I don't know that we could have hit it, but that's what stretch goals are for. And trying to push it. But I wanted to kind of give you a sense of when you bring everyone together and you work collectively as a team and you stay focused on it, that's the type of things that you can accomplish. I don't think anyone in the state of Colorado has done this.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, maybe Denver, but their scale's different. But I can't think of anybody that's done this type of work. And that's you all in your role as council members, it's your role as commissioners, that's city staff, that's LHA staff, even including our building inspection department. And that's a pretty heavy lift over this time period. So I wanted you all just to hear that.
I'm really proud of
Yeah.
Ascent because I'm proud of all of them, don't get me wrong. But I just remember the stress level of us not being able to have that money. And I remember you asking us, do you want us to go forward with this, with the child care center? And we all were like,
Yes.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we were gonna build it or something. But
Yeah, I know.
And look what happened. It worked out. And
I
I brag on that property all the time because people in other states and people within the state are like, what? You all have what?
Yeah.
just wait until you see the inside. We got new construction photos this morning, and this is so little, but this is the ECE. That's the entryway. I'll show this. I'll walk around and show this up close if you want. Here's one of the classrooms. Like all the fun stuff is going in. Look at the mural. You gotta drive by the mural going in the room.
The mural's up.
Partway,
Oh, it
2 of
is.
5, but it's all outlined.
I saw the one,
It looks so
I
good.
was driving my, Miss Daisy, no, my mother, and I said, look at this here, and she was like, oh, that's beautiful and everything, so I mean, and then we tried to drive around it, and it was only the one up, it was really,
Yeah. You should be very proud of that.
Super proud.
Very proud.
Everything. You all are hustlers.
Yeah, you are.
I know.
And I know
Seriously.
you were very, very stressed for a while.
They're still stressed.
We're still
Well, yeah,
stressed.
Still stressed.
But they smiling with the stress.
Yes.
Last time
They've
they
got
didn't
more
smile.
people
No.
to be stressed.
Yeah.
You can,
Yes.
share it. That's
Yes.
Very
good.
good.
Enjoy.
Well, you mentioned that. I think what people don't think about is when you look at the staffing of when LHA was absorbed, I think you had an executive director, a chief financial officer, 1 accounting position, 1 or 2 HCV. It was never fully funded, and then you had less than adequate maintenance and property management staff. And so where you all have, where we've worked collectively to take this organization is you have an assistant director, you have a regional property manager, you have a property manager at every location, you have 3 assistant property, 3 or 4? Two assistant property managers. We now have adequate maintenance staff at all the properties. And so it's hard to think about. I've been thinking about it over the last couple of weeks in terms of what didn't exist and what exists, and how we were able to move through that. And I wish we could say the surprises would stop coming, but every time I say that, a surprise hits us between the eyes. But what I can say is they don't rock us like they used to. And we have the capacity to deal with it. And, you know, the biggest piece is we're not getting calls and scrambling to see who's going to go where, because they have a fire in Quincy and calls me and says, hey, and I go, what do you need? He goes, nothing, we got it taken care of.
Wow.
And so, and Lauren was the same way in the work that they're doing. So a lot of progress, and I just, at the last meeting with this group, I just wanted you all to hear that, because these folks have done some phenomenal work.
It shows.
It does show, and it's frustrating for me, and probably for all council, when the residents say, what are you doing about affordable housing? You're not doing anything. And I think, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, we just can't move fast enough. So, have you noticed a growth in the people who need affordable housing?
Sure.
You have?
Absolutely.
Scary.
Yeah, and it's we're seeing some, you know, the 50% AMI units, I think on the age restricted side are problematic. But we're seeing that the 50% units in folks that are under the age restriction, even in the market, are filling. And so there's really something. And then what we're seeing in the older adults is there's a group that can't, they're overqualified to be in the 50% units, but they don't make enough income to pay market rate prices. And so we're seeing some really interesting things, and it's not holistic to just the population in general. There are very specific issues in different age demographics that I think are going to be some things that we're going to have to work on and figure out. But it's, our older adults are either slightly overqualified or don't make enough to be in that sort of that mid-tier.
So interestingly, we released the PBV waitlist for Ascent, which is so 30% income folks. And PBVs are obviously, those are really important, especially for seniors on fixed incomes, because you would pay 30% of your income regardless of what the rent is. But we had a lot of seniors apply for those PBV units at Ascent. And so the family property that we put together, we could have a fair number of seniors filling those really low income units. I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think the seniors are more connected into the senior services here in Longmont, and they hear more about like our opportunities. I think that might be a thing, but also just knowing how, if there is a senior in need of housing that is on a fixed income, they've got family members calling, they're trying to figure it out. So it could be a nice age group. Maybe it's a good generational mix at Ascent too. But then we also have a ton of kids, families with a bunch of kids. How many, I won't call you on it, we put it together, the list together to see how many kids just from the age to 0 to 5, to see what a potential student pool at the ECE could be. And it was like, I can't say it off the top of my head.
That's good. Keeping
Yeah.
aging people on their toes. And keep them sharp.
Harold, how many employees does LHA have?
Now,
It's about 30 employees when you consider those that are also city employees paid by LHA. It's just about that.
Okay.
and they were at 15.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's woefully low.
Somewhere in there. I can't, it was some, trying to think.
Do all
Was it
this.
lower than 15?
Here it is.
It may have been.
Sorry, I'm doing two things at once.
Before you take
Yeah.
over? Wow.
So,
No, 15
12
employees.
to, 12 to
Or 12
15,
employees. but
12
they
12 to
just-
17 employees,
Holy cow.
17?
12 to 17, somewhere in there.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, everybody's
17.
doing 6 jobs and not doing very well.
Well, I mean, part of it is they're not paying
So strict.
$350,000 in 2 positions.
Right.
Jeez.
So we have 8 families on our wait list. 18 children under the age of 5 are included on the entire wait list.
And we're only 60% full at Ascent right now. So that number's gonna grow.
And children age 5 to 18, we
Will we have a
haven't gathered
ribbon
that
cutting?
specifically.
Is there
I'm
going to
sorry?
be a ribbon cutting or some sort of?
Oh, yes, certainly.
I'd like that. So close.
Don't forget about me.
Oh, we don't.
Well, now we've got that. Ascent, they're gonna be moving in, what, in a year?
January. Is it?
No, not Ascent, True North. Mid-year.
I think they'll be doing closings in the springtime.
In the spring, so we got a few things coming.
Last thing I want to say, and then I'll be quiet. I just want to ask about the insurance because we know that insurance is sky
I was
high.
gonna ask that, so I'm glad you did, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think about, the meth and what we're about to put into the units, and hopefully that will help us, but where are we with the insurance right now?
Sky high.
Is it?
We had, I think, like a 5% increase, if I remember right. So the problem is that the amount of construction costs, like for VOM and Ascent, we're kind of in a pickle because we're kind of in the medium sector. And what that means is we're getting properties that cost more, and HAI, which is specifically insurance for housing authorities.
Smaller housing authorities.
Yeah, smaller housing authorities. They can bundle and give us a better discount on our insurance, but like Ascent, HAI can't cover that property because it's too expensive. They would have to insure themselves to insure us. So they'd have to get more insurance to be able to insure the total cost of the property. So our economy of scales is not large enough to get into the open market and see discounts there. So we're kind of at this until we get more properties under our belt and get a higher economy of scale, going out to the open market is just too high price for us. So right now we fit all the insurance within the budget that you guys approved last month. So, and that was with all the new costs. But yeah, who's to know?
Right.
Luckily our properties aren't in a disaster zone like some of the other agencies, such as Penrose. Penrose was saying, I thought they got a fairly decent deal on Ascent. I don't know that we would get the same cost as they did, but they said most of their properties are in those disaster recovery zones. So they're seeing increases just because of that.
We don't
Let's
need a
pray we don't get
disaster.
damaged meth units, because those were very expensive.
Well, the good news on that, Quincy talked about it earlier, is what's the name of that group?
70 services.
So the foam that we talked about, they're now starting to use that, and they're having good luck, and we're not seeing as many
Oh, great.
full guts.
A lot fewer.
A lot fewer.
And we have 0 down units and have had that for some time. We're in a different place than we were even a year ago. And this was one of the big scary things that kept me up at night amongst many. But it's like we're rocking and rolling there. It is a different world.
Good.
They told us it has to be a very extreme case for them to have to gut because they can just clean. So, we've been good.
And Sarah's about to install 75 meth detectors at the Ascent property.
Wow, that's great.
Been working on that for years too.
It's a work in progress still. Now I'm 75 more. But I'm gonna share that wealth a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I'm ready. I'm ready, I love it.
Need a motion to adjourn?
If there are no other comments from commissioners, then I do.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that. So it's been moved by Commissioner McCoy, seconded by Chair Pat that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed.
Boy,